guys, it's Mrs. Davis. I'm making these videos from our own art room, and we've got everything here, but the only thing missing is you. But we're going to have a lot of fun doing some different lessons from home. The one we're going to do today, for first and second grade, is an overlay project, and I've got some samples here of different ways to handle this. This one was just a random shape, and then we overlaid it. And then this one was two different shapes using warm colors on the inside and cool colors on the outside, but we didn't overlay it. And the one you're going to do, you'll have a couple of shapes in your art kit, and we're going to overlay them, and then having warm colors on the inside and cool colors on the outside. So let's get started. Okay, we are ready. In your kit that came home with you, you'll find a piece of grid paper like this, and you'll find a couple of different shapes. Now, some of you may have different shapes than what I've got here. I tried to have a variety. So you're going to take these shapes, and you can lay them down basically anywhere you want. You will need a pencil, which I'm trying to find one here. You'll need a pencil to draw around your shapes, and you'll need to just put it anywhere you want. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to put my leaf here and begin drawing around it like this, and push down really hard on this shape so it doesn't slide around on the paper for you. Draw all the way around it. Make sure you draw nice and dark and very carefully so you know exactly where your lines are. See, mine slid on me even though I was pushing hard on it. There we go. There's my maple leaf. And then here's my star. And I'm going to overlay it on top of the maple leaf so that we get some really interesting shapes. And it doesn't matter how you do it. I think I will lay it right there, pushing down really hard and drawing relatively dark. So when you get ready to color, you can see where your shapes are. Because laying these things on top of the grid give you some really interesting shapes within it. Because it's not only the shape of the object here, we've got the grid in the background which defines yet other shapes, which you'll see how that develops. Now this time it didn't slide on me. Okay, very good, all finished. Make sure when you return your project that these come back, because we saved them and used them for other projects. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate my colored pencils into warm and cool colors. You remember that warm colors make you think of fire and things warm, and cool colors make you think of ice and snow and things that are cool. Okay, the coloring process, you could start, remember that we're going to have warm colors inside of these objects that we traced around, and then the cool colors on the outside of it. And I was able to get enough of this one done so you could see how it's going to develop. If you wish, you could start with just doing the warm colors on the inside, and that'll help keep you straight so you don't make a boo-boo. This is kind of a neat project to do while you're listening to your favorite music or sitting outside and enjoying this gorgeous weather, or even when you're FaceTiming with your buddies and talking to your friends. I wouldn't work on this though while you're trying to watch TV, because if you get too distracted you could make a mistake on where the warm and cool goes, and colored pencil is really hard to erase. I left this piece here not finished because I wanted to show you. Can you see how this shape looks like it ends there, but there's a teeny space there? If you think that maybe water could flow through here, then that is going to all constitute one area. I want to show you that real quick. And also when you're coloring, we've talked before about high quality coloring. It's really important to always do your best on everything that you do. When you do your best, that shows honor to God, it shows honor to your family, and it shows honor to yourself. Okay, in the past we talked about coloring quality. I'm going to use a couple of dark colors here. If we are coloring an area and it looks kind of like that, that's not very good, is it? Let's do that same area, making our lines right close to each other. See how much prettier that is? And then you can also go the other way and it makes it even darker. so you can have nice solid blocks of color that make your work just pop just like this. Okay, going back to here, I'm going to start with the warm colors on the inside. I like all of these colors. Let me get them down here where you can see them. It's hard to choose. I think I'm going to start with red. Inside of here is all going to be warm colors. Now look at the shape. The shape I'm going to color with my red is going to be wherever there is a line. It includes the grid and also the object that we laid down. So I'm going to start out here with my red, doing it nice and dark, and when you get toward the edges, slow down a little bit so you don't accidentally go over the edge. And if you've got anything underneath, I think I've got some lumps of glue under there that are giving me some unwanted texture in my project. When you get to the grid lines, they're kind of gray, so go ahead and color over the grid lines with one of your colors. That way it kind of hides them and it makes your project pop a little bit more. Okay, there I've got some red. Now let's see, what is something that would contrast with the red? I think the yellow would contrast. Remember, contrast is very important in art. So this shape, you see it goes around the corner here. It's going to be this whole area, kind of looks like the letter V. So here I go coloring my yellow. It's this paper's kind of thin, so be careful that your colored pencil doesn't grab it and tear it. If that does happen, just turn it over and put a piece of Scotch tape on the back of it. It'll pull it back together. And sometimes when you use a color like orange, this is kind of a peach color, but I want to show you something kind of neat. Let me get this peach done and then I'll do orange. Something you can do. Let me find an orange. Here's orange, and Nut and Hide, one of my favorite colors. Okay, this whole big area here is going to be orange. See how it comes out a little tip there? So I'm going to go ahead and color that real quick. And then I'm going to show you something cool you can do. Trying to get all the way up to the edge and coloring over the gray grid lines. Now it doesn't matter which color you color over the grid lines, it just makes it look neater when you get finished with it. And I see a spot that I missed with my peach color. I'll go back and grab that. But here's something that's very cool that you can do with your yellow or your white. You can blend using your yellow. Sometimes you can use your white on lighter colors, and it acts as a blender and kind of pulls everything together. See how cool that looks? Now the only thing I've got to do now is go back and fix that peach that I missed in this corner here. Now if I was going to use a blender on this peach, I would probably pick white. So there you go. That's the project. And take your time, enjoy yourself. One thing about these art projects that's really very cool is that you can take some time away from your academic work. You can take some time away to just enjoy. And since you're doing these projects at home, you have plenty of time to really enjoy doing it. God bless, stay inspired, and keep making art.